Aloha and welcome to another update on my home cockpit. This is not my budget flight sim. This is my less than budget flight sim, as you can kind of notice. I've just taken off from a local airport and we're just kind of cruising. No real flight plan per se, just wanted to document some of this. Now there have been a few changes. We can kind of see here the multi-panel is gone. I have the prop wash sim autopilot right here. I have two radio panels that I 3D printed that are plugged into an Arduino Mega, and I've got this transponder that I made that again, it's on the Arduino Mega. Not the greatest. You can kind of see it's a little lacking, but it's a little more tactile. I like it a little better than I liked the multi-panel. Don't get me wrong, I love the multi-panel, and I'm going to keep the multi-panel on the budget flight simulator upstairs, but for this cockpit, this works a lot better. Now, I have had some issues with this. If I leave the flight sim up running too long, these knobs forget what they're supposed to be. I did a longer flight and my X1 digit over here started controlling up here on the X1000. Don't ask me why. It doesn't do it right now, but if I leave it running for long enough, it will. So it's a little bit of a quirk. I'm probably going to replace it with another prop wash sim product. So far, between the audio panel and the autopilot, I'm pretty happy. There's a little bit of a learning curve with the autopilot, but it's not much at all. I'll probably do a review on it at some point once I'm a little bit more accustomed to it. I also finally got around to fixing some of these knobs. My issue over here, because I had actually put knobs in here a while ago and wired them up, and it was the type of rotary encoder I was using. I was using the fancier ones that have their own circuit board on the bottom. Those did not work for this at all. As I was, and I'll give you an example, on the heading, I would have to do about 5 or 6 complete rotations to make it move 5 degrees. I mean, it did not want to move. Luckily, I had some old encoders, and as you can kind of see here, because I'm on heading mode in my autopilot, everything's working just great. Now, this one up here does need to be a little tweaked a little, and I did get my altimeter working, so I can alter that from 2992, which is always your default on Microsoft Flight Simulator. But if you look, you might have a hard time seeing it here. You can see I'm kind of changing it around a little. So it does work. I'm kind of happy with it. But it did take me almost all day just to get this panel done and to make sure that these were wired right. Now, down here, I still am using this red button here, which you may not be able to see. That red button for my fuel cutoff. I've got that knob for my tank select. And I use this FIP gauge for my my oil temp, my oil pressure, my vacuum, fuel flow, and fuel gauges. And I can also see if I've got my pitot. I got my pitot heat on right now. But if I've got my fuel pump on, or if I've got that valve in the on position, parking brake here, and what you can hardly see here is my fuel pump. I'll show you here. Fuel pump is on, fuel pump is off. So works pretty good. I'm gonna put another facade over here, just black, just like this one, and a gray one similar to this up here. This FIP gauge over here is just an annunciator panel. for right now. Haven't decided what I'm gonna really put over there yet. But yeah, it's so far so good. And since I'm already showing you the cockpit, I'll show you a couple other little changes as well. One change was the seating. So now I have 2 seats I found on Amazon. Let me back out here a little. They match, so you can kind of see that. They can roll in. The arms can raise, which I like because it makes it a little easier to actually get in and sit down. And you can actually sit 2 people in here. It's kind of close, but then again, in a small airplane it would be as well. So kind of realistic on that side. So if you, oh, and there's curtains now on the outside. So there are curtains. It's kind of a way to block out the room a little bit. Doesn't block out the noise from the 3D printer, but oh well. Again, just a quick update, but wanted to throw it out there. A lot of work done today on it. May not look like it, but it took a while. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay safe and happy flying.